Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Wednesday, 31st July 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Curacao is the newest member of CARICOM at the associate level. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Curacao is now an associate member of the Caribbean community CARICOM. At the 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM on Sunday in Grenada, CARICOM Secretary General Carla Barnett said the community looks forward to Curaçao's active engagement as the newest member of the CARICOM family. Prime Minister of Curacao, Gilmar Pisas, said becoming a member of CARICOM will strengthen the island's bond with member states. Sunil Lala of TTT News reports.
Curacao is now an associate member of the Caribbean community, CARICOM. At the 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Governments of CARICOM on Sunday in Grenada, CARICOM Secretary General Carla Barnett said the community looks forward to Curaçao's active engagement as the newest member of the CARICOM family. Prime Minister of Curacao, Gilmar Pisas, said becoming a member of CARICOM will strengthen the island's bond with member states.
Furthermore, becoming an associate member of CARICOM will strengthen the already close bonds we have with the members and associate members of the Caribbean community, and it will enable us to contribute more effectively to the collective Caribbean cause. In this regard, we bring to CARICOM a unique blend of cultural traditions, economic strengths, and social perspectives that hopefully will enrich the community as a whole.
Climate change and its effects headlined the agenda set by the new chair of the Caribbean community, Grenadian Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, as he addressed the 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM on Sunday. This short TTT News item explains.
I'm all too familiar with the devastating effects of climate change and the stark reality that we may not have a country to pass on for future generations.
Chair of the Caribbean Community, Prime Minister of Grenada, Deacon Mitchell, recalled the feeling of many after the most recent hurricane to affect the island, Beryl.
When you pass people, they are dazed 1 month later. They are still in shock. They are still traumatized. You think after you spent all your life working hard, doing all of the things you've been told to do, and in 45 minutes, right in front of your eyes, it's gone.
Member states have assisted Grenada to rebuild and recover from Beryl, with some sending cash donations and soldiers. Grenada was last badly hit by Hurricane Ivan in 2004.
That is why CARICOM must, shall, and will continue to advocate for climate justice.
The CARICOM summit was initially scheduled to start on July 4th, but had to be pushed back due to Beryl. Mahalia Joseph Wharton, TTT News.
Prime Minister Barbados Mia Mottley is once again calling on the international community to do more. CBC News is represented in Grenada to cover the summit by Crystal Hoyt, who filed this report.
Prime Minister Mia Motley has arrived at the 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM here in Grenada. Previously scheduled for earlier this month, it had to be postponed due to the impact of Hurricane Beryl, one of the first matters on the agenda during today's meetings. Following the first business session, Prime Minister Motley spoke to me frankly, admitting that enough is not being done, specifically by the international community.
Clearly, the experience of Hurricane Beryl and the arrangements institutionally that we have both regionally and internationally in order for us to be able to better prepare ourselves, not only for recovery, but for the building of adaptation and to become more resilient, because I believe we have no more than a decade within which to do that. And the international community has not been stepping up to the plate, either on the loss and damage fund or sufficiently on some of the other issues. We've made progress, for example, with the natural disaster clauses and other things, but we need to be able to ensure that there's a greater pool of concessional funds.
Another major issue on the table is that of food security, which is at risk given the increase in both droughts and storms.
We're all compromised, and therefore we're trying to see how best we can prepare ourselves, both in terms of looking to see what are the opportunities for parametric insurance for our farmers at a regional level, so that when there is loss, that they're capable of claiming. But at the same time, I think we're going to have to invest in far more climate-resilient agriculture, which means doing some enclosed agriculture, not just open field, but doing agriculture also for a percentage of what we produce within the context of greenhouses and other more secure facilities. That's going to take more planning, more financing, but I think it's going to have to be part and parcel of the equation as we go forward.
As it relates to the goal of reducing the region's food import bill by 25% by 2025, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, says given the devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl, it's simply not feasible.
It has to move. Some countries would be still on target because they haven't been impacted yet. But this is always going to be a moving target. 2025 is an aspirational date, clearly. Some progress was being made before, and now we have had a setback.
As the heads of government continue to meet tomorrow, a number of other issues, including shipping, transport, and the conflict in Haiti, will be discussed. Reporting from St. George's, Grenada, Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Politics should be about service to the people. Those were the words of the General Secretary of the People's National Movement and Minister of Youth Development and National Service, Foster Cummings, at the San Fernando East Constituency Conference. More in this TTT News item.
For some, politics is about personal gain. For some, politics is about an additional trophy of accomplishments. For some, people do not even take the time to understand the philosophy of the organization that they belong to. But for those of us who were born under the PNM, under Eric Williams, George Chambers, and Patrick Manning, and now Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, we understand what service to the people is about.
General Secretary of the People's National Movement and Minister of Youth Development and National Service, Foster Cummings, has vowed to continue working in the service of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
I am determined to work for the people of Trinidad and Tobago for the time that I have been elected so to do. As your General Secretary, I will continue to do all that I can to support the leadership of this party as we modernize the PNM to make it suitable for those who will come after us.
Mayor of San Fernando, Robert Paris, shared that the government has been significantly investing in projects that will benefit the constituents of San Fernando.
I am pleased to announce that through a mutual memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Agriculture and the City of San Fernando, that the San Fernando Hill is now under the remittance of the San Fernando City Corporation.
Already, we have engaged in discussions in the operationalizing of this national historic landmark, where we see the potential through relevant subsectors in tourism to effectively market the potential of creating business to the mutual benefit of all of the citizens of the city of San Fernando.
Minister Cummings and Mayor Paris spoke at the PNM's 2024 San Fernando East Annual Constituency Conference on Sunday.
Bahamian priest appointed Catholic bishop in Dominica.
Standing room only at the Our Lady of Fairhaven Cathedral in Roseau, Dominica yesterday, as the former Vicar General of the Catholic Diocese of Nassau, Reverend Father Kendrick Forbes, was ordained the 10th Catholic Bishop of Roseau. Pope Francis elevated Forbes to the top post on May 2nd. A contingent of Bahamians flew to the Eastern Caribbean island to support the beloved former pastor of St. Paul's Apostle Catholic Church in Lyford Key, including Minister of Economic Affairs Senator the Honorable Michael Alcides and his wife Tracy, and Minister of Housing and Urban Development the Honorable Keith Bell. Bishop Forbes is grateful to use this new platform to promote the Word of God.
When I visited you in May of this year, I shared with you that I will seek to do most of all in your midst one thing: to proclaim Christ, crucified, risen from the dead, our salvation, hope, and life. I recommit myself to that pledge. If we keep Christ at the center as our focus, then everything else will fall into place.
Scores of Venezuelans voted at their embassy in the capital of Trinidad as President Nicolas Maduro faced his toughest electoral test in decades as he vies for another 6-year term. Many Venezuelans in Trinidad were hoping for change, while others are apprehensive about the process being fair. CNC3 News has more.
¿Tú estás aquí de paseo? No, regresé a trabajar. ¿Ah, sí?
And this was the beginning of the process to vote in Venezuela's election in Trinidad and Tobago. Venezuelan nationals visited the embassy at Victoria Avenue, Port of Spain, when polls opened from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. to check a list to verify that their identification number was present. And once found, the gates were unlocked to allow the vote to take place. But how crucial are these elections?
Are very important, yes, as an exercise of your democratic rights.
Many say they simply want change in their homeland where most of their loved ones remain. Those CNC3 News spoke to said the process itself was smooth, but there are concerns about the integrity of the polls. According to UNHCR, 7.7 million people left Venezuela since U.S. sanctions crippled the economy. 16,000 registered to work in TNT in 2020, but think tanks suggest 50,000 have settled here, which is why one voter finds it absurd that there are just 350 eligible people in TNT.
I'm sure they have more Venezuelans here. I don't know what is the data that the government is using here, but I have heard it's like 50,000. These 50,000, for 300 people that they only entitled to vote, that is not even 1%.
However, a witness for the opposition at the polling station said the voter turnout has been much higher than years past and is confident in a transparent process.
So far, it's been fair. So the Venezuelan citizens here in Venezuela and in other countries are hoping for a change. Let's hope that happens.
What sort of changes you all want to see?
A new president.
Whether it's President Nicolas Maduro, former diplomat Edmundo Gonzalez, or opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, the outcome will either lead to a seismic shift in politics or a resumption of life as Venezuelans currently know it. Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. reassurance we give. It's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.